What's up guys, Steve here. We're going to talk about scheduling today. Now, this is not just advice for a full-time seller, even people who work purely part-time and maybe they have a job. If you want to do 1 hour of selling a day, 30 minutes of selling a day, invest a little bit of time into an eBay store, this is perfect for you as well. But if you are working full-time and you're looking for ways to kind of like dial in how you should do a schedule, we have a full thing on the front here, and on the back is even more information I have of exactly how I do my own schedule every single day, what I prioritize and how I prioritize them. So we'll get into this first. These two things here, customer service, administration tasks, and shipping items to buyers. Those two are like must do every single day. You have to do these two every single day when you run an online store. Sometimes, yes, you cannot ship items every single day, but at the absolute minimum, you can at least package them, add tracking numbers, and kind of keep the buyer confidence up that you're actually paying attention and you're actually getting ready to ship their items. So shipping items and customer service, rolls around answering emails, answering messages, responding to offers, any single thing where someone contacts you about your store. It's super important. You must do it every single day. You can't fault these. These are number two. You can't, there's nothing else. I'm sorry. You have to do them every day if you want to sell online, if you want to excel. Some people, they don't do them every day. They ship every week. They respond to people like 7 days, 8 days later, 10 days later. But those people don't really tend to kind of build something magnificent. Okay. So remember, these two, super important. Now down here, I kind of struggled for a way to like kind of display this of the level of importance. So listing items, sorting items, and buying more items, they're all super important in any business. But listing items, to me, is the most important. If you have items ready to list, they have to be listed first. There's no like, it just has to be done first. Sorting items, if you have none left to list, you got to sort items. Once you've sorted the items, you can list them. Then you list, none left to list, sort the items, and then you list more. But if you've sorted items, but you have nothing left to sort, and you've already done it so much, you have to buy some items. And when you buy the items, you have to sort them, and then you have to list them. It's kind of like a backwards kind of circle chain. I just wanted to break it down at the level of importance. Listing is the number one, sorting is then, and then buying more items is always going to be after you've completed your tasks, listed what you have. No one should be sitting there with tens of thousands of items to list and then spending multiple hours a day buying more, because you're just going to accumulate so much stuff, you're never going to get through it. Down here, we have 6 things that I also do, if not every day, every week, every few days. They're constantly in my mind, in the back of my mind. We have cleaning. This one is it's completely understated of how important it is to have a clean workspace, have somewhere where you not only enjoy being around, you can get things, you know where things are, you don't have piles sitting everywhere, you don't have cardboard sitting in there. Yeah, I don't completely clean my office every single day. Maybe every third day I do like a full clean, take every piece of cardboard out, clean my bins out and stuff like that. But it has to be it has to be in your schedule once every 3 days, once every 2 days, once every 5 days, depending on how much stuff you're getting in and out. You're going to be able to need to clean. If you're only sending 2 packages a day and you're only listing 10 items a day, maybe once a week, a general clean of your area is great. If you're shipping 200 items a day, maybe every single day you should be cleaning. So that's super important. Buying supplies. This is not something you need to do every day, but if you need like more pens, more shipping supplies, more boxes, more anything you use, tape, envelopes, anything like that, you should be planning and buying supplies in your schedule. But it's not something you have to do every single day, because you should be buying at least enough to cover a month's worth of supplies. But sometimes you have some things that you're running out of, maybe label rolls, maybe some tape, maybe some parcel bags, maybe some boxes. Maybe you didn't realize you only have 1 big box left. You need to get 10 more. Some supplies run out faster than others, but buying supplies, at least double checking them every 3 days is what I recommend. Money management. This one is different for everyone. Some people with a whole bunch more money, and they have less worries, and they can just list and sell freely, and they have a really high paying job. Stuff like that. You don't have to check your bank account every day. You don't have to check your bank account every second day to make sure your money's flowing. You have enough for certain bills. You have enough for certain invoices. You can kind of plan a purchase in the future. And some people with more don't have to do it as much, but when I was growing, I was making sure that every single 10, 20, 30, $40 I had was being put to certain amounts of work. I was constantly using it. And I always knew in the back of my head, when I was looking for items to buy, when I was like doing my researching, when I was engaging with the space, I was like, okay, I have $60 to my name. I have to make sure that's what I'm looking for. So we'll get into research and engagement now. Engagement is like watching YouTube videos, kind of just like this one, or anything else in the hobby or the thing that you're trying to sell. Because this isn't just based on trading cards, what I do. This is for everything. So engagement is like, keeping up to people, like Instagram posts, seeing what people are posting, seeing what's happening in your hobby. Maybe there's a new release coming out that might be beneficial for you to buy some and sell it, sell into that market, take advantage of something like that. And research is kind of different, is when you're like, something that's already out and is selling consistently. You want to go and research stuff in your hobby that actually sells and then use that kind of in tandem with engagement and then seeing how much money you can. Because, me personally, I'm not going to go and research how much Lamborghinis sell for every day because I can't afford a Lamborghini. So I kind of want to stick in my price range of what I'm actually looking for when it comes to research and money management. If I only have $100, I'm not going to go look to see a whole bunch of $1,000 items. If I'm checking sold listings on eBay, for example, I'm going to set the cap at around 200, 150 because items that I'm even looking for to buy, I want to know what they sell for. But I don't really care what a $500 item sells for. I don't really care what 1,000 items sell for if I only have $100 to my name, because it's just not really something that's going to happen. It's always great to know that if you have extra time, but you only have certain amounts of time, especially if you're still working and stuff like that. You want to nail down your research time in tandem with how much money that you have to spend, so you can kind of prioritize things that actually are going to work for you. And then the engagement thing is going to work with that. Like, you're not going to try and, just for trading card terms, you're not going to try and buy like $100,000 worth of a new set that comes out if you only have $100 to your name. You're not even going to try something like that. Maybe you pick up some singles from the set that you think that might be great to buy and flip straight away, but like, you're not going to do some crazy amounts of buying from suppliers and large amount of booster boxes. And then receiving packages down here. Now, as you grow, you probably receive more packages than you used to. I mean, I get a package almost every second day, and the moment I get the package, this package is like almost above customer service and sending items to buyers. I'll still do that every day, and I'll try to do that every day before packages arrive. But if I get something in, I want to get it in. I want to check what's in the package. I want to go through it, validate all my purchases, make sure, hey, I actually got everything that I bought. See the eBay sellers that I bought off or anywhere I bought off, leave feedback or stuff like that. Just like verify what's in my package and understand, okay, this is what I bought, and then put it aside. Do these two first and then go through it. Look at the items, get them ready. If you don't have anything to list, sort these items, etc., etc. It's kind of like this is down here, but it is way more important than like all this stuff, because this is the juice right here. So I hope me explaining this first part of just all the important parts of an online store, I hope this is helpful. Now on the back here, I have my schedule, or pretty much what I prioritize. It's not really my schedule per se, because it's very hard to write what exactly my schedule is. Let me see if this looks good. You guys can see that, right? Yeah, sweet as. So up this top here, I have daily schedule of an online seller. I tried to write something, but this is my priority list, 1 through to 12. 1 is most important things I do straight away, and 12 is pretty much the last thing I do at the end of the day. It's less important to do this because the stuff at the start of the day is stuff that needs to be done. So respond. It's responding to all my messages. I mean, if I get a message at 9 a.m. and I respond at 1 a.m. at midnight, it's not very good of me. If I wake up and I plan my next day schedule at 9 a.m., well, that's not very good because I got stuff that I need to respond to. I got stuff that I need to do my shipping. So respond to all my messages, all my emails, everything like that. Next, I do my shipping, get all my items out, prepare them all, make sure I have them all. If I have an item that's missing, I can message the buyer and be like, hey, I'm sorry I have this. I don't have this in stock. Would you like something else instead of a refund? I can help you out. I can check all these other things. If I do it at the end of the day and the buyer's like, oh, just refund me. It's Friday. I don't want you to ship it out on Monday. It's going to take too long. It's kind of like you got to do your responding, your shipping, and the listing. This is also really important. Every single eBay store, every single person that wants to buy and sell online really should be attempting to list every day. Now, this could be listing 10 items, 30 minutes of work, 20 items, an hour of work, depending on what you have and how long it takes. Some things take longer to list, some things you can list really fast. But your response time, if you're a newer eBayer, you might only get one message in a day. You might get no messages. You might get no sales. You don't even respond to anyone, and you don't ship out anything. So then you should probably prioritize listing, depending on how much time you have. Say you work like an 8-hour job and you have an extra hour at the end of your day, do 30 minutes of listing. See how many items you can get up. Eventually, you may be able to increase that, but just set a goal. If you only have 30 minutes, do 10. If you do 10 in 20 minutes, then just do a little bit extra. Just stick to kind of like a schedule. There's no time limits on these. Because me, I'm full time and I pretty much work like 15, 16 hours a day sometimes. And some days I work only 4. It just, I build my own schedule to work around my own lifestyle. But there's no set time limits. I might list 15 hours in one day. And those days are terrible, but they're needed for the kind of business that I'm trying to run. Next thing is cleaning. No one really likes working in a really crappy space. Listing and cleaning are kind of like, you could clean before you list, but if you get like 20 items listed and then you clean, it's not too bad. At the end of the day, you have time, you can do some extra listings. You can always do more listings, but you do want to have a semi-clean space for if another package comes in and all these other things. So 5th thing of the day is your engagement. You know, I don't have to engage every day. Sometimes I'll watch YouTube videos on new products, or maybe I'll see what other creators are doing, or maybe I'll see what other people in my own hobby are doing. And I want to see what they're doing. I want to kind of engage with them, you know, Discord chats, Facebook groups, all these kind of things. I'm trying to engage a little bit every day to keep my foot on the pedal and understand what's going on, but it's not something you have to do every day, maybe every second or third day, depending on how much spare time you have. Everyone's different. And then research. You know, me, I research every single day. I'm full time. This is my thing. But like, again, you can set allocated time. I'm gonna do 30 minutes of research, and research is just finding what items sell for, looking at new releases, all these other kind of things, trying to keep on top. It's mainly like price research, so you can have an idea of when you are actually doing your buying, because you're not going to do your buying the third thing in the day, because you want to get some engagement going, you want to research, and then you want to do your buying. You always want to do your buying after you've done a little bit of research, maybe do some targeted buying, maybe you find some items that you've actually researched that actually sold, and then see if there's like kind of like a little bit of a margin going on there. So you do some buying, search for items. If there's an item that you really want, maybe you search for that. Search for larger things, be more vague, be more direct. Maybe you can schedule one day. Okay, this day, I'm going to use Pokemon terms. This day, I'm going to search for Charizard items only. That's great. And then maybe the next day, like, look, I'm going to look for items between 2005 and 2010. Whatever they are, whatever languages you're looking for, you can schedule different days to look for different stuff. I don't really think it's ever that great just to be like, I'm just going to look for everything every day, because you'll usually come up empty-handed and you're going to be like, oh, there's nothing to buy. When in hindsight, or just in truth, really, there is so much to buy every single day. Next thing is sorting. You know, it's important to sort. You always should have stuff sorted, but I wouldn't say spend 100 hours sorting. It should probably be like a few hours sorting, a few hours listing, a few hours sorting, a few hours listing. You don't need to sort millions of items in advance, because you can only list so much. It's way better to get more dollar figure listed on your store than have store stuff. What is going on with my word? To have stuff sorted for your store but not listed for sale. It's not going to be beneficial unless you just have so much money and you don't care about selling stuff actively. Then sorting is going to be more beneficial to you. Buying supplies, I do it at the end of most days, every 4 or 5 days. I usually buy like months worth of something in advance. Just for example, like my little tiny black boxes that I ship most of my items in, I keep around 1,000 on hand, and yeah, I do notice they come down. And when I get down to like the second last box, I'll just order another 1,000, chuck them in the same place on the shelf, in the garage, anything like that. It's just kind of good to buy supplies every 3 days. Maybe I suggest checking up on them, because it always sucks to like run out of supplies and you're like, oh, and then you buy them online and then you got to wait 2 weeks and then delayed shipping, or the shipment gets lost, and it only happened because you kind of like didn't keep up with your supplies. And then receiving, I put this in black because, like I said on the other side, if I get a package in, I'll receive it. But once these 2 things are done, I'm going to break that bad boy down, see everything I got, look at my items, stuff like that. Super important. Planning. When I say planning, it's kind of like if I know something comes up in the future. This also kind of ties in with money management, where if something's coming out, let's say a new set comes out in 2 months, and I know that I want to spend $10,000 on that new set, well, I'm going to try and keep $10,000 aside. I can't just be like 1 week before the set comes out, okay, fire sell and get all the money in for the set. I want to slowly build, spend less money buying, and maybe look for different things, because I know that I'm going to spend a whole bunch of money when this new item comes out to take advantage of it. And then the last thing, this is something you can do right before you go to sleep. You don't really need to be anywhere. You don't need to be in your office for this. You don't need to be anywhere, really. Next day scheduling. It's like scheduling the next day. You should always try and schedule the next day, the next week, what you're focusing on. You know, me, when I list cards for my own stores, let me show this box here. I don't know if you guys can see this. This is probably terrible. But these are all fire type cards. So we list by type when I list my trading cards. So I break down everything by type. And like this week, I'm working on fire type cards. That's my schedule. So I pull all the fire type cards. I sort them all out of the inventory, condition check them, everything like that. And I go, I'm listing fire type cards. That's my schedule for this week. And once that's done, I can move on to more sorting and then more listing. I don't just have heaps of different random things. And then I save so much time because I sort all my fire type cards into my own shelves where all the fire type cards are scheduled are like by themselves. And I don't have just like water type and grass type and everything like that all listed at the same time. And I'm just going through so many different spaces. I know that, look, I just listed all these items. They're all in these rows. And I know where there is. And I can save a lot more time. Plus, I don't waste time over sorting, if that makes any sense. Now, I wrote a few tidbits down the bottom. Can you see those? Yeah, you can. So be flexible. Every day is going to be different. Some days I'm really in the mood for listing and I'm actually a blast. There's some good TV on. There's like, I watch a lot of NBA and I'm in Australia. So the NBA plays between 8 a.m. and like 2 p.m., sometimes 5 a.m. to 2 p.m. And I just sit there and I watch NBA all day and I just list. That's all I want to do. I want to enjoy the NBA and I want to list cards. It's actually quite a good life in my opinion. And sometimes I'm going to be like, look, I don't want to do that. I don't watch NBA today. And I don't want to list anything. I want to focus on sorting today, planning the next week's worth of work, everything like that, looking for items to buy. Because, I did 500, 1,000 listings last week, whatever like that. I'm happy with what I achieved. But all these other things have come up. I'm going to do these and then list on Monday, on Tuesday, on Wednesday. Then, one step at a time. Usually you're working by yourself. I've been working by myself for about 8 years now. And yeah, that's it. You can just do one step at a time. It takes time to do stuff. It takes a lot of time to do stuff, actually. It's kind of understated just how much time everything takes when you do it all by yourself. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's the only real reason why all these business things are kind of viable to sell online. Any random person can just make an eBay store and become an eBay seller. They can become an online seller just because the people who put the most time in and are the most efficient, they're the most flexible, they dedicate and plan things out, they get the reward. And if it wasn't like that, if it was like easy to do it and they didn't take one step at a time, then it wouldn't be as profitable. It wouldn't be as good of a feeling if it works out, if that makes any sense. So don't rush. It's kind of the same thing. Like I said, slow and steady wins the race. It's right there. There's no rush. So I really hope this scheduling video helps you guys. It's not really like a super long one. It doesn't have to be long, but just take a screenshot of this and kind of like put it somewhere. If it looks good on the screenshot, I'm not sure what it looks like. The screen's covered in so much stuff. But this is what I do almost every single day, and that's my priority list. If you only have 2 hours in a day, maybe you're running a smaller store, responding and shipping is maybe 20 minutes. Your listing should be a big bulk of it to get more items up, make your store bigger. Maybe you list for an hour. It doesn't mean you list 100 items, you list 200 items, you list 400 items. You list for an hour, you clean for 10 minutes, you engage for 10 minutes, you do research for 15 minutes. Maybe it goes a little bit over. Some of these things don't have to be done at the same time. It doesn't have to be 2 hours of work in a row. I can't work. That's the greatest thing about selling online. You can do responding and shipping in the morning. Maybe when you wake up, you can do responding and shipping. You can go to your work. This is what I used to do. I used to respond and ship to all my things when I woke up. I would go to work at 5:30 a.m. and I would finish work around 2:30 a.m. 2:30 p.m. Sorry. So I would wake up around 4, pack everything that's sold within reason. If I had like 80 to 100 card singles orders, I wouldn't do those until the afternoon. And I would pack everything, ship it all, respond to all my messages, head to work, drop it off at the post office at a post box on the way. Then I would come home, clean everything, get my receiving, get all my packages. Maybe my roommate got some stuff from me, and then list some stuff. And while I'm listing, maybe I'll do my engaging. And while I'm listing, maybe do a little bit of research. After 30 minutes of listing, 10 minutes of research, 30 minutes of listing, 10 minutes of research. And then I'll maybe do some more sorting, checking on my supplies. And maybe it's only 5, 6, 7 p.m. afterwards. And yes, I have been very dedicated to this for a very long time. And I did work, 10, 12, 13, 14, 16 hours in a day when I was working full time. But it's kind of what it takes to be like something large in this space, because it takes a lot of effort, a lot of small things, small sales, small profits consistently over time. So I hope that helps you guys. Let me know in the comments if this did help you. If you want me to expand on this in any way, let me know. Always here. Other than that, my name's Steve. I hope you have a great day, and thank you for watching the video.